Good afternoon. We are back. It is the Waffle Show. It's Friday. We are a waffler down. Waffler down.
The big waffler.
The biggest waffler of all. He's not here. He's not feeling very well today. So we wish LB the very best. Hope he gets well soon. He's a bit sick. He's a bit under the weather. I don't know. Did he have a dodgy meal last night or something? Have you heard anything?
He's been out on the sauce, hasn't he? Nice Guinness. He loves his Guinness. Is it LB who loves his Guinness?
Well, I'm just wondering, have you got any transfer rumours on the old LB illness sauce? Is he ill or?
No. No.
What are they saying on the grapevine about LB?
Yeah, let's check. Let's check the socials.
Yeah. Anything on X about LB's thing? Has he signed a 5-year deal somewhere else? Doing it?
Yeah, very possible. No, he'll be back on the waffle. He loves it, doesn't he? Loves it.
Yeah. Anyway, Tone, how are you, mate?
Yeah, really good, mate. Thank you. Really good. Bit busy with work, but don't want to let the side down. I'm here. I'm ready to go.
Been a busy boy this morning, haven't you?
Yeah, I have.
This morning.
Under a bit of pressure at the moment with work. So, yeah, but it's all good. I'm chilled. I'm ready to go. It'll get done.
So bloody hell, Luke. Does that ever happen?
I wasn't bloody late. Oh, dear.
I've got the WhatsApp messages to prove he was late, Waffler.
I was 4 minutes late, but you were bloody 15 minutes late.
I was up and ready. I was waiting for you. It was all set up.
Of course you bloody were.
Big up Ed, big up Dash, RC's in the building, Luke, Blue Moon, Jack, Dash, they're all here. No, Shaz has said LB is not feeling very well today. If yes, the MGW saga will be entertaining. Well, go on then, Tom. While I'm just saying a few hellos, have you got any news on the MGW? Sorry, Lucifer. I'm going to nickname him Lucifer because he seems to be the devil to everyone.
Yeah, what, MGW? I thought you meant me for a minute. It could be that as well, to be in some quarters. Yeah, MG. I was going to say LGW. What the hell's that? That's London Gatwick, isn't it? MGW. Yeah,
Come on.
Yeah, I think this one could happen. I think it could be difficult if Forest make the Champ League, but they had a big setback yesterday, and they've got a couple of tough games coming.
Sorry, say that again.
What if they make the Champ League?
Make the Champs League.
What, Forest? Well, they still can. They still can.
Forest made an enemy out of me this last weekend. Made an enemy.
Look, how many enemies you got?
you know what? The bang out of order. They're sitting there talking about empty seats. Tell you what, did you see their empty seats last night?
It's fire alarm, wasn't it?
They're here, they're every fucking where. Empty seats. Empty seats.
Yeah.
Biggest home game in years, and they can't be asked going.
No, it's weird as well. It was sunny everywhere. It seemed to be raining there, which was weird. Like it's pissing it down, unless it was up where you are. I don't know, but it was bloody sunny here. Look, Morgan Gibbs-White. Yes, I see that happening. I think Chelsea and Forest will miss out on the Champ League, and if that's the case, don't really care with Chelsea. But I'm not. Yeah, Chelsea may sneak in, but I'm not really asked either way with Chelsea. They're shy. But Forest, I think they'll just miss out. I think it's just come to the crunch time where the top teams, top players show up, and I think they'll just get found out, which gives us a clearer run at Gibbs-White, which some people may not want. So they may want Forest in the Champ League because they don't want the player. I do want the player. I think he's a good player. Do I think he's world-class? Nope. Do I think he could be? Maybe. I don't know. But at the end of the day, if Pep wants him, Viana, Chicky, whoever's keen, then so be it. People want an engine in midfield. I think he is that. I know some people say he's just a 10. I don't believe that. I think he's an 8. I could see him working as an 8, is what I mean by that. So, yeah, it's a good move for me. It ticks the boxes. You love it because it'll be homegrown, which is something you're always rattling on about that. So I'm happy with it. The fee is going to be astronomical. I've seen talks of mid-70s, which is a lot of money, a hell of a lot of money, and it could be more than that from what some others are saying. But I think it'll be around 75, 78, somewhere around there, if I had to take a guess. Yes, I think it'll be around there. But the money, too many people obsess over money. Anthony cost 86 million. Maguire cost 80 million. So if you're comparing it to that, it's bloody bargain territory. You probably more than me anyway.
Someone said, actually said, he had a throat thing. But possibly stealing one of your ideas. No, my ideas staying under wraps now. My ideas.
Yeah.
Craig says LB is ill due to too much flip-flopping.
Oh, nice.
Bernard, all right, mate. Good to see you in here, Bernard. Bloody mad house, LB Bray. Don't you start the Bray and Bro shit. That's not start the Bray and Bro. Lee Gates, how are you?
The Bray and Bro, that's LB. Who was on with LB that time? They were literally just going, all right, bro, all right, bro, all right, bro, all right, bro. Who was it, Martin? Who was on with him? Do you remember? We were saying Hamza, that's it. It's Hamza, yeah.
That was a good stream. Me and you were messaging each other going, hey, listen to this. All it is Bray and Bro, Bray and Bro, Bray and Bro, Bray and Bro, Bray. What? Are they even talking yet?
Yeah, it was like 200 bloody times in an hour.
So what says I feel MGD will happen at around 70, 75. Have you heard anything on Morgan Gibbs-White? Because Bron Breaker, now this is the info I got yesterday, well, weeks ago, but Bron Breaker thinks I'm telling lies. You told people in the space last night that Morgan Gibbs-White told the club he wants to go to City. Surely that's a lie. He's professional. Our players never told their club they would like to leave at any point. Have they told either way? It's never happened in the world of football, that one.
Yeah, that happens all the time, I'm afraid. There's a City player that not asked to go, but asked about the possibility of going in January that hasn't been made public. This sort of shit happens all the time. People always ask for, moves and transfers, and maybe players do it differently. You have some players who will do it professionally and say, look, I've got a chance to, just for example, to work with Pep or whatever, if we can agree a move, I'd like to move on. There are some like the Nunez's at Wolves who say, well, I'm not going to train until you move me and sod you, which is not good, not the good way to do it.
Got a bit of bad news.
All right.
Real bit of bad news, Tom.
Okay. Is it real bad news? Because you say this and then it was.
Well, you know, you've got the question of 100 gorillas or 100 humans and one gorilla, yeah?
Yeah.
And ill LB
Yeah.
are the biggest waffler of all time.
Right.
Which one are you going for?
So you're saying who to bring on the show, do you mean?
Yeah, someone's in the background, mate, who's, you know.
Well, have I missed something? Is there someone on the chat? Have I missed something?
Hello.
Hey, Silly Luke.
Long time no see, people.
Hello, mate. You okay?
I'm good. Just
Good.
was listening and I thought I'd come and annoy Martin for a bit.
Yeah, good man. It's good to see you.
Looking well, both of you. Well, maybe one, not Martin.
Yeah, definitely not Martin. No, thank you, mate. And you.
Already. No, I hope everyone in the chat's good.
Look at this. I see it. Come on. Let's see it. Look at this. He's going to beat the shit out of us, Martin, next time he sees us.
That's what I'm going to look like in a few weeks. Right, you want to?
There you go. All right.
Anytime.
You two beat me.
Anytime. No, but nice to be back on. It's been a while. It's been a long, long time. But if anyone asks, yes, we have. Before anyone starts going on, me and LB have spoke privately, so it's all water under the bridge, and we can move on. So that's the last I'm going to say on that. But hopefully he's feeling better soon. I am only in here for a once-off. I won't be a regular appearance because Martin doesn't have enough to pay me. But yeah, what have you been speaking about? I've been listening, but I've kind of zoned out because I was getting checked in.
With Morgan Gibbs-White, just saying, what do you think about it, Luke? Do you think it's a good one? Good move? Good player?
I think it is. For me, I think people need to get. I think a lot of people have still got PTSD from the last three transfer windows: Calvin Phillips, Mateus Nunes, Grealish. So I would say over then the 6 months in the treble season, we're starting to kind of veer towards him now. But I do think it is a player that we do need. I think we've lacked kind of legs. Yes, the unks, which is probably something I would have went absolutely mental on if I was still streaming. But I do think that they've kind of turned it around the last couple of games. You know, some people are saying, well, that's not going to last forever. And I agree. And for me, I do think that, you know, if we're looking at players like Morgan Gibbs-White, there's a reason. I know that he has a close relationship with like players like Phil Foden and a few of the other English lads around that. Because I think they were both in the under-17s World Cup winning squad together, along with a few others. But no, I think it's a good one for me. I think we haven't seen the best of him because he's playing in a side where they're low blocking. And obviously he looks a lot more creative with being able to go forward on the break. But I don't see him. Some saying that he's not the Kevin De Bruyne replacement. He was never going to be. I think he's more of a box to box.
Yeah, I'm with you.
As long as he doesn't shoot. I mean, obviously he had that one good shot in the semi-final, but other than that, his shooting has been atrocious. But other than that, I'm all for it. To be fair, I think City are now looking at transfers, trying to be a bit shrewd. I haven't been watching too many people online, so I don't know what other people's opinions are, but. I do think that City are looking to try and bring players in to bring the wage bill down, and I am alive, Colin. Thank you ever so much. Just don't appear. Just don't ever appear. But no, thank you all for the love. That's massively appreciated. But yeah, I'm quite interested for this one. Obviously, the main one is Verts. I won't get into that one because there's a reason why I haven't discussed any of it on social media.
Nothing further has changed on Berkshire. Leverkusen are pushing move to City if he leaves as they don't want to sell the Bayern. Personal terms have been agreed with both City and Bayern. Await decision.
See, the thing for me, what I've said in a few chats, you've got to look at as a German footballer, Bayern Munich is the pinnacle. You know, it's like when we were growing up, the top teams to play for, and I hate to say it with every fibre of my being, is your Uniteds, your Arsenals.
Yeah.
You know, you might not be a fan of them, but the pinnacle of football when we were growing up is to go and play for them clubs. Germans will see that as the same for Bayern Munich. You know, all players' roads lead to Bayern Munich. As a German, you know, you could, support somebody else, but you want to be going to play for the best team. You know, you guaranteed trophies. You kind of are with City to a degree at the moment, but there's no guarantee that you are going to win two free titles a season. Whereas in Bayern Munich, you've got potentially the DFB Pokal, the Bundesliga, which we've seen Company do in his first season. There's a real kind of, but he's already won that. So whether that's a different thing to sway him, or he sees it as a stopgap before he goes to Bayern, like Leroy Sané did, it could be that as well. But for me, the Florian Wirtz thing, I think it's just one of those where see what happens, because that one could change in an instant. Real Madrid could come calling last minute, if Xabi Alonso. I've always said if Xabi Alonso goes to Real Madrid, he is going to follow him to Real Madrid. There is no question about that.
Yeah, I agree. I think that'll be part of the package when he goes there and say, go and get my favourite player. And you make a great point, actually, about he's won the German title, the Bundesliga already. And that,
well, he did it as an invincible, to be fair. So, I mean, there's not much more you can do.
Yeah, that's true. And it's a great point. I'd never really sort of thought about that in terms of the thought process of it. So that could, but Alonso, it looks like he's going to be going to Real Madrid. I think Ancelotti's off, isn't he? Is he going to Brazil?
No, they wanted a deadline on his exit clause for Real Madrid, so it looks like it's up in the air at the minute. But he is all but to leave Real Madrid.
Yeah, so
fills the void for Xabi Alonso to walk right in. So
yeah, and it's been widely reported that Alonso's the guy. Everyone knows it. It's
But then it's who. And I've always said this: if Wirtz went to Real Madrid, who is it that's then omitted from that squad? Because whoever's omitted from that squad, City should be looking at right away. For example, if it's Camavinga, Valverde. Not going to say Rodrigo, because some people are getting desperate on Rodrigo, and I don't think that one will happen. But if there's a central midfielder that is going to waste at Real Madrid, then you have to dip your toe in the water, I feel.
Oh, if Valverde's available, you go all in on that. But yeah, Rodrigo, just jumping over to him, I'm not. He's clearly a good player in that, but he's not a priority to me. I get why people want it, because it's he's going to be a lot of money and a big signing, and it's it's an exciting signing. But
by the way, I've heard that is genuine. By the way, Rodrigo interest is real.
Yeah, but it was last summer as well, though.
Very real.
But is he someone we need? Is he someone we
believe me? Thing I'm told that we need wingers that are goal-scoring wingers.
But is he a priority? So maybe not someone we need. He maybe is. But
no, I agree. But the thing that's labelled the Doku and Savinho and Grealish and whoever else is our wingers don't score and assist. And I was having a look at this last night. Now, yes, I know he's had more goals and assisting, but this season in the league, he's only scored 6 goals.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, he is a phenomenal player. I don't care about goals and assists on wingers. I care about their overall play within the team and what they do and bring. Rodrigo would bring a lot of excitement, but I'm not sure he would bring the goals and the assists that everyone is craving for.
I do think he brings that big game mentality, though. Like, you remember a couple of years ago at the Burnabout, like, he was the one who turned it against us. We were coasting in that tie, and then all of a sudden, 10 minutes go, and we're into extra time for some reason.
I just wonder how much he'll cost, and when I'm just trying to.
That's the only benefit of going to Real Madrid, though, in terms of buying players. They are very, very rarely selling them for astronomical fees, because they need to get them off the wage books.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you notice that they then just pull them off, and then they've instantly got the next person in, which is usually the case, to be fair. You looked at it with like Benzema, Ronaldo. They had the next ones ready to come in: Vinicius, Rodrigo. Even Bale getting off the budget. You've brought Kylian Mbappe and the likes of that in, so they have no issues of dispensing players.
Yeah, and I'm not going to cry if Rodrigo comes in. It'll be great. But to me, it's a fifth priority because keepers we're going to need, or a keeper at least, fullback, midfield, and creative midfielder. Those to me are the four we must get. Maybe two fullbacks, which is 5 players. The winger, would love a winger. I think we'll probably sign a winger. But to me, all I'm saying is a lot of expense.
But yeah, absolutely. And I think if you're looking at somebody on the right, you know, are we going with the notion then that Phil is playing centrally?
Yeah, that comment there. Yeah, sorry, Link.
Yeah. Definitely. No, definitely. I think it is an added luxury, 100%. So mutant form, great comment. But I do think it does then beg the question that if you're going to go for a right winger, if he's going to be starting week in, week out, what is the plan? 1, for Foden. 2, is Marmoush playing centrally as well as Foden? And then, you know, is it just Rodri behind him, which we know he can do as he's done in previous years next season? But I think Marmoush starts to play a lot more centrally next year, to be fair. I think that if we don't get Verts, that is your Kevin De Bruyne replacement for the first few weeks.
Yeah, absolutely.
As controversial as that sounds, he hasn't let us down so far recently. So, and we'll see again tonight.
Yeah, huge game tonight. Massive game tonight.
Yeah,
what's this then, Martin?
Sunday in AM.
Are you going tonight, Martin?
There's a bad shit in the woods. Of course I'm going.
Do you want? I was just going to offer. Do you want your ass kicking in snooker beforehand? But
I'd love to, but I've got an appointment at the hospital. So my bad.
Right.
If I'm out of sleep, I was at the doctor's late last night after the show. I had to when I did the space, I was halfway through. I'm literally running on fumes at the minute. As you can tell by my voice, I'm running on fumes, big style at the minute.
Also,
right. So you're all happy with Rodrigo, but we'll see if it happens. Obviously, someone mentioned the chat last night, and I have heard this. I want to talk about something that was rumoured yesterday. James McAtee tends to be in talks on a new deal. Now, I've not heard anything signed or anything. Someone did say last night he's agreed a deal. I don't know. If McAtee does, for example, are open to it, and people want Echeverria, and people want O'Reilly, is that a rebuild? Or is that just a refresh putting the EDS in?
I think Pep's learnt the error of his ways the last few weeks.
But are we going A to Z there? Are we going A to Z for
No, I don't think so. I think Pep listens and has heard the cry for the academy to come in, and they have all shown why they should be starting. You know, he did the right thing with Ford and gradually brought him in to then win the Premier League Player of the Season and things like that. And, you know, Pep knows what he's doing with youngsters. But I do think there is sometimes a neglect towards it that he feels like, as he made comments earlier on in the season, you know, these are the players that put me in the bad periods. I need them to be able to prove that they can get out of it. Maybe it got to a point where he was like, hang on, these players aren't getting me out the bad period. Brings in the likes of McAtee, even Cassano for a short period of time. But then we found the better partnership at the minute of Diaz and Vardiol. You know, he's had a kind of deficiency at left back with Ake, you know, Vardiol going into centre half, not being fit for Ake, for example, and Stones not being fit. He's put O'Reilly there, and then he's turned around and probably realised, like he made a few comments last night in his press conference, I think, and he was like, these players have now shown me that they can do it. They probably could have done it back then, but I didn't believe in them, but now I do. So I do think he is starting to see the errors of his ways. However, I don't think he'll be going from a case from A to Z like you think, Martin, where it'll be everyone's just getting dropped in as a full 11 of all EDS lads. But
I'm at midfield.
Oh, right.
You know, okay. I said to you, Rodra, O'Reilly, Echeverria, and McAtee.
Dependent on what the fixture is. I think if you're going like Liverpool at home or something, then you're not going to play that. Let's be honest, are we? But
no,
if there is a tie, say like, you know, again, it's tough. But say if there is a tie where you are comfortable, I wouldn't say all of them. I'd say maybe McAtee, Rodri. I don't think Echeverry gets minutes towards the back end of this season, period. I think
No, I'm
Club
sorry,
World Cup.
next season. Next
Yeah,
season.
but that's what I'm saying. I think towards like the back end of the Club World Cup, you'll potentially see him get minutes. However, I think O'Reilly set himself, pre-season last season, the spot at left back that he's doing, he's good enough. Whether or not in the midfield is yet to be seen, but we've seen him go into midfield, the semi-final, for example, and looked solid. But then it begs the question of what's happening with people like Nico Gonzalez and players like that, because
I mean, you've not bought anyone. You've not bought anyone now. We're doing that.
I don't.
So it's
if you got Gibbs-White, I wouldn't complain. If it was then Gibbs-White in the midfield. How are you getting
Gibbs-White in the midfield, though?
Because then you play McAtee on the right.
What are you doing with Bernardo? What are you doing with Gundogan?
But are you playing McAtee in any big games?
No.
No, and that's the problem to me.
But I think these players you have to be given
Mamouche.
Yeah, but Mamouche, exactly.
Mamouche on the left, which he's already been doing and just hovering there.
Right.
I always say the same thing with McAtee. I just don't think he's the level. Other people
I think he is, but I think he has showed it in glimpses. The Palace game, he turned it on. But I do think, for some reason, I just think there's been a neglect to get him on, because he's had some bad periods as well. He's had some bad moments. I think was it Brighton away earlier on in the season?
Even a couple of the FA Cup games.
I can't remember. Well. But then again, in the FA Cup, Nico O'Reilly has been the one to save us. So you can't really, use McAtee as an example and then omit Nico O'Reilly, in my opinion.
But then I would take O'Reilly in the squad for next season, but I'd be happy to sell
I think he expects that anyway. I don't think that kid is expected to be playing as much as he is.
Yeah.
I don't.
But no one's going to be sorry, Luke. No one's going to be too upset if McAtee goes to Leverkusen and we get Wirtz as part of that deal.
Yeah.
And
I think it'd be the best thing for him. I don't know whether this deal is kind of smoke and mirrors to get him a better deal, get the club a better deal from buying clubs. Because, clubs in the Premier League and things like that will be looking and be like, well, he's not playing much, so we're going to give you this much.
Yeah.
Or is it just smoke and mirrors to say, right, we'll give you a 3-year deal, and then when players come in, but we have kind of potentially a new mentality as well with Hugo Viana coming in. We don't know what kind of ethos and kind of background he's going to want.
This is the point that Page 28 is making. Nobody's allowing anyone to go anymore. This is no longer a rebuild. This has become a refresh.
Yeah.
Is it a case of as well, Viana comes in and goes, do you know what? You've got Stones, Grealish, Ake. I don't want to work with these players purely because we can't rely on them. And he makes Pep see something that he probably hasn't seen from a fresh pair of eyes, because Shicky's the one who's brought these people in. They're the kind of things I'm thinking more. So.
He's nearly 23. He's not a kid.
Yeah, I've seen some people say about he only wants players that can play 3 days a week, 3 times a week. I don't think that's right. I think he'll have a mix. He said something, or someone had said he said something about Kovacic can't play 3 games a week.
No, I think the comments come around, and I know where you're getting to, but
yeah,
I think it's more the fact of not being able to play 3 games a week.
Yeah.
It's the fact of being available for 3 games a week.
Yes.
There's going to be times where you're not playing week in, week out in certain positions. The likes of Haaland probably will. Edison, if he's fit, probably 2 out of the 3 or 3, most likely. If he even stays, that is, which is highly unlikely.
Yeah.
But there needs to be this kind of, if you're called upon, you're ready. It's not a case of like a John Stones, you get started, 15 minutes in, you're injured, and you're out for 6 weeks. I think that reliance I think the patience is wearing thin on things like that now, because of how this season has gone. We've had John Stones come back, go injured. Akanji's had to come in and replace him, injured.
Yes.
Simpson Pusai's had to come in at some point, then been kicked back out to the EDS when they've come back in, but then they've got injured again. And it was this whole revolving circle of kind of the same issues not being fixed until January. But then even in January, there was a reluctance to play some until Kasanov. and he proved what he can do.
Yeah.
But,
well, I'm just going to do this because I think we need to look at this in a serious. Because this is my thing. I agree with what you're saying, but let's look at this a minute if people can see it on the screen. Right. Carson, Edison, Ortega. The likelihood 2, maybe 3 of those are going to go, yeah? Would we all agree with that?
yeah.
Yeah.
Akanji, staying?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Ake, staying?
No.
Yeah, no, I'm with Luke. You know, I think he may go.
Okay. Diaz,
Sadly.
obviously new contract.
Yeah, 100%.
Which we were going
He's
to announce.
Yeah.
New contract for Diaz soon. Josh Gogabardio.
Come on.
Kushinoff. Rico Lewis.
Yes. But not as a defender.
Right, hang on. Okay, so you put him in midfield.
Yes.
You're going to have a problem in a minute, Luke, because you're going to have about 14 midfielders in a minute.
That's fine.
You've not bought anyone. Hang on, you've not bought anyone yet.
We'll just play vibes.
You can only have a squad of 25, remember, unless they're on 21.
Fucking hell. This is why I fucking don't miss coming back to this shite.
But you've got to play by the rules, Luke.
Oh, fuck off, man.
Luke's come back with a squad of 45. He's been at Chelsea for the last few weeks.
Yeah.
Victor Hayes, obviously. Some people are talking about going on loan with him.
Yeah, there's some talk of that, yeah.
Do you know what? I don't think that would be a bad thing.
No, but I don't know.
Oh, no, it pissed me off, that. No, that would piss me right off. Why would we push at spending 10 million additional for loaning back? What's the point?
No, not loaning back there. You know,
Don't loan him anywhere.
No, they bought him to get ahead of the competition in the summer because Real Madrid were after him.
We had to. I think we were taken for mugs in the January transfer window because everyone knew we were desperate. So be it.
Yeah,
we had to.
And we were in that position because we didn't do enough before, and that's the cost. You pay the price.
Right, John Stones.
I don't think he'll go because, and I keep having this discussion with people. It's all I would probably move him on if I could, but who is paying for John Stones? Who's going to pay money?
My thing is, I think he will go if he'll accept a wage reduction somewhere. But does he?
Yeah, and we're not getting a fee or very, very small fee.
That's the thing. Either a club are going to pay him what he wants and they're going to compensate on the fee, or who knows? Who knows?
Yeah,
because this season has just been far worse than any season in terms of the injuries. Like when I had my channel, when I was explaining it, he plays on average 19 league games a season. Or not even league games in all competitions. On average, I think it was 19 or 29, I can't remember. But even so, 30 games for a top level centre-back is concerning.
Yeah. Matt, let's go to midfield.
We're not discussing Kyle Walker. Can I not have a rant on him?
No. We've only got till 15:15. Right, Oscar Bob. Right, this is my issue now. Count these up, yeah? Who are likely to stay. Oscar Bob, I know he's a winger, but he's in the midfield right. So let's take the wingers out. Kevin De Bruyne, gonna go.
Really?
1. Echeverri 1. Phil Foden 2. Gundogan 3. Kovacic, I'm going to take Kovacic out as though we've sold him. McAtee 4. Nico Gonzalez.
Whoa. You can't move the goalposts now.
Well, we've got to sell someone, Luke, because we haven't got enough. We've got too many. We've only got one.
It's not Kovacic.
So you're selling?
You, if I could.
Well, you're selling because he ain't going to sell Nunes, mate. He loves him.
I know.
I'm thinking this rationally. Let's look at this rationally, not from an emotional point of view.
No, I'm not emotional. I would just keep Kovacic around because I think
Kovacic. So now we're at 1, 2, 3, 4. McAtee 5. Nico G. 6.
McAtee can go.
McAtee's the 7, one for me.
O'Reilly 8. Rodri 9. Bernardo 10. Oh, and then Mamouche, you got to bang him onto the wing. So you got 10.
I think Bernardo's the other one.
Yeah, Bernardo McAtee could go.
No, I'm saying
think,
if he does sign his deal. I'm going with Luke's midfield he wants.
Hang on, you're changing the goalposts like Luke
No,
said.
He moves them all the time.
He does.
Luke, would you be all right with a Rodra, McAtee, O'Reilly midfield? And he went, yeah.
For certain games, Luke said.
Yeah. Don't start twisting, Martin. I'm not coming on to have my words twisted, Martin.
No,
Luke,
it's
missing it.
Yeah. I've decided not to have a nap to get on here.
He's stirring.
We've not bought anyone.
Right. Okay.
And you've not sold anyone.
I think we're not counting the loans that are out because I think Phillips and Perron. I think Perron could be looked at by like Inter Milan and places like that.
No. Yeah. Actually, it is a lot because I'm only talking central midfielders. I've not included Doku, Savini, or any of them yet. I'm only saying central.
You know what? A controversial one. I see Doku could be one.
What to go?
Yeah.
So sorry, can I ask what under 21 players am I including? McAtee's not an under 21 player.
Right. Hang on. Martin, you brought us on here. You're expecting us to do a full bloody rebuild live on the spot.
Yeah.
Well,
no, he hasn't given us a heads up, has he, Luke, at all?
I didn't even know I was coming on, to be fair.
He didn't even know I was coming on. He just ram-raided.
It's good to see, Luke. It's good to see him.
Anytime.
Nico G, Nunes. Are we all so sure Nunes is going to stay?
Yeah, O'Reilly, you're out to be. But it's like, I know people saying about their age, but he's still going to take a spot on the bench or in the 11. He's going to take somebody's spot. I know he's under 21.
I'm so grateful I can't see the comments.
But he's going to take a spot on the bench, is he not?
No.
O'Reilly's a really good deal. I know O'Reilly's under 20. I know he's under 21. He's 20 years old. I don't mean included in the 25. I'm talking about squad, match day squad.
Yeah.
He's going to take somebody's spot.
If he makes it.
Then why is he signing your deal then?
But if you've got 25 top players, 5 players are going to miss out, bar injuries and so on. And suspensions and the like. People, we're seeing it now. We've got 4 or 5 still out, and you're still seeing, where's so-and-so? Where's so-and-so? Why aren't he in the squad? Why aren't they in the squad? Well, because we've got too many players. We've got 29, I think, haven't we? Or did he say 28 last week with LB? So we've got, this is the problem. People want this squad,
I think people are expecting world class and numerous world class players in the same position. There's been several examples in the past history, not our squad, but several other squads, i.e. biggest example you can always use is the Galacticos in Madrid. It doesn't work. I think you need some kind of, youngsters hovering around and,
100%.
players who... I think some players will be...
Lee Johnson said, 18-man squad, out of 25, 7 are staying at home.
Can I be one of those? Fucking hell, that'd be my dream job. My dream job is Scott Carson.
You lazy bastard. I'm staying at home.
Yeah, fuck that. Like, if he put the lineup out and like I wasn't on the first 11, I'd be like, I'll stay at home. Yeah. I'll volunteer.
Yeah, I know that's great. If someone doesn't make the bench, so be it. I get that.
But I do feel no.
That's not going to work.
Play devil's advocate. I do feel like there is going to be players who will understand the assignment and appreciate that. Right. O'Reilly is the biggest example. Echeverry, I don't know if because of his age, are they allowed to play in the EDS, which is under 23s? If it's not, things like that. Will they kind of accept training with the first team and then getting minutes in these EDS leagues and whatnot? I don't know what the crack is with like under 23s or anything anymore. If you can have international players in it, I don't know. But that's the thing. I think some players know that they're coming to the club to gradually integrate in. If you'd have said to Nico O'Reilly he's probably going to get this many minutes this season, would he have believed you? Probably not. So I think some are probably getting the minutes.
Yeah.
But 26, Gaffer.
Walter brings up a good point about, players will be injured, of course, and suspensions and so on. But the problem.
Well, if it's anything to go off this season, the more the better.
Then you do need a squad of 45 or 46. But it's a difficult one to weigh up. We're not going to have a squad with 25 players the level of Diaz and bloody Wirtz and Rodri. It's not feasible. You can't do it. But like you said, you need your O'Reillys, maybe even McAtees, who I've just sold. But
Craig makes a good point there. To be fair, sorry to interrupt you, Tom, but there's no pre-season this summer. It's straight into competition, then straight back to the Premier League. So
yeah, it is.
No one getting time to get bedded in. You sign for City, which is probably why they're wanting to do all the transfers early.
Yes.
You sign for City, you're straight into competition. There's no kind of, friendlies against Yokohama Marinas. I know we've got Al Wydad, or whatever they're called, the one who said he was going to get milk from the shop, and Wydad.
Yeah, Tonali, you're not getting Tonali though, Keith.
Oh, I'd love him though.
Oh, top player. Yeah.
Is it controversial to say I'd take Tonali over Bruno now?
I'd still have Bruno, but it's close.
Nah, Tonali for me. This is why I'm grateful I don't do my channel anymore, because I can come on and just say whatever I want. I could say something to get Martin's channel banned now, but
you can't, because I can just kick you off. We don't know if Pepper's only going to do it because he doesn't have good midfielders. This is my problem. My only thing I'm saying is, I've noticed a shift in the last few weeks. We've talked about this privately, so we were selling 9 players, 10, 11. Now everyone's staying again. Nobody's going anymore. But they want to add players on top.
Yeah, but that's because it's always the recency bias, isn't it? Kovacic a month ago, and I know there were people out there saying he can go, he's useless. Now he's scored a couple, man of the match last week or whatever. Suddenly, get him on a new bloody deal. There's one person in particular who I called out last night. Is bloody well waffling.
I think the same for Kevin De Bruyne. You're
right.
There's been a few moments the last couple of weeks where he's, Crystal Palace looked really, really good, helped us out. And then there was people like, oh, we need to extend him a year. I'm of the opinion, I think this is the right time. And I will stand by that.
Agree. Yeah. Yeah, but you stand by your view, and if you're wrong, you're wrong. But you stand by your view. There's too much flip-flopping going on, and then you're right either way. So you just turn and say, well, I said that 3 weeks ago. Well, hang on, 5 weeks ago, you said the bloody opposite. Yeah, so exactly. you're always going to get the flip-floppers.
Well, Blue Moon's asking, outgoings realistic. What are the realistic outgoings?
Outgoings, Bernardo.
Grealish.
I don't think Aki is realistic.
I'd be surprised if he stays.
Grealish. McAtee, I think, still is. If he signs up, then great. But I still think right now, today, McAtee's still going. Because he's not signed yet.
So I don't think Gundogan's going to go.
Well, no, he's got another year, hasn't he? So
I don't think Bernardo's going to go, because at the moment, the last time Benfica said they want him, but they don't want to pay a substantial amount of money.
Yeah. Walker, obviously.
I don't. To be honest, I don't include Walker or Phillips. I'm just took them that they're gone. I know that's harsh, but it is really. And then Nunes, I know, has convinced Pep a lot recently. So I mean, we're back to who goes going, apart from keepers.
Well, yeah, but that's still, we've just named half dozen, haven't we? Including maybe and throw Edison and Ortega in there.
Edison, Ortega, 2. Carson may retire.
Bernardo. Ake.
I don't think Bernardo's going. Bernardo's not talking like he's planning on going anywhere.
No.
And who's bidding for him, Tone?
Well, those people that say Pep's favourites will be devastated if they all end up. Who are Pep's favourites, just out of interest? Those people who say
Bernardo, Gundogan.
Yonks.
Yonks, yeah.
The 30 pluses.
But I don't
see this. Don't look at all the Edison. I mean, I know Craig's saying with the internationals, take Edison out, put Diogo Costa in because they'll take the spot. Ortega out and put Garcia or Trubin in. Akanji, Diaz, Gamario, Kushnov, Doku, Savinio, Gundo, Coba, Gonzalez, KDB, he'll go out. Rodrek, Nunes, Mamouche, Haaland is 16 players. With KDB, 2 to go, we'll have 2 international spots left.
Hang on. Sorry, our current squad now, am I missing Bernardo? How have we gone from 28 players to 16?
No internationals. No, you haven't got Bernardo on there.
Oh, sorry, internationals, right.
No, you haven't got Bernardo on there, Craig. Or have you?
No, doesn't.
No, you're missing Bernardo.
Yeah, so Bernardo.
So there's one spot.
One spot. You're missing Bernardo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, there's a big job, but what we're getting at, there's a huge job for Viana too.
Yeah, that's the point we're saying is you're going to have to lose players to get players in. You're going to have to. Or you go with Morgan Gibbs-White and deal with it.
I think they already know who's going and who's not.
Who they want.
I think you will see very, very quick movement as soon as the season is over.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
Could be wrong.
No. I'm fairly sure. I think you're right. I think there's more going on in the background. But then again, we always say this, don't we, as fans? We're always like, Chicky wants stuff done early. I know Viana's here, but we're moving quick. We want the signings all done.
But this is the window for Viana to make a real statement and be like, "This is my team."
Yeah.
I'm not Fernando. I'm not doing that. I don't think 10 will go. I don't think 10 are coming in. Some want 10 out, 10 in.
No, that I think the most you'll see 5.
And the only reason I don't think Bernardo will go because of the cash.
Yeah, and then he's on a free next season, isn't he? I think. Is it next season?
Benfica's highest earner is that guy I told you about. The guy Rancho Sancho, whatever his name is,
Ronaldo Sanchez.
Yeah, he's on 130,000 euros, something like that.
For him.
No, but he's their highest earner. It was Di Maria. It's gone down.
Do you remember his loan at Swansea when he was?
Yeah. My point is, Luke, Ronaldo's going to have to drop 60% of his wages to get down.
But I think he would if he goes on a free.
But he's not going on a free till next year, till 2026.
Yeah, so that's probably so be it then.
That's what I'm saying. So don't expect loads of midfielders in there.
But we know there's going to be a fair few changes. Maybe not what people think. I saw someone yesterday saying, "Oh, Pep's never going to
not rebuild."
Yeah, Pep's never going to sell his favourites and so on. Well, if they are his favourites, why bloody well would he? You know what I mean? It kind of speaks for itself.
It's a fun time, I think.
It's exciting, isn't it?
Because I haven't been on a show yet to talk about him, but I do watch a little bit of Liga, and that Juma Bar.
He's good, mate.
I don't know why.
Liam, that's already agreed, mate. That's all agreed.
Yeah, that was imminent as soon as he started appearing fucking week in, week out.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he's staying.
No, we're not.
I've never had a chance to answer this question. 100 men versus one gorilla. Have you answered it already?
Yeah, we were on South Stand. We said the men would, and then I asked, would 100 women beat one gorilla?
Whoa. Don't be getting fucking sexist there, Ton.
No, not at all.
Thank you for the £2.
I think
versus one gorilla would win.
One gorilla. Alan's fucked. But 100 men, you do realise, right? Like a gorilla is 230 kilos of just sheer muscle.
Yeah, but
they stand on average at about 6'5", and their wingspan, like their arm span, is like 8'10".
There was someone who said they were 9 foot or something like King Kong.
No, like I think if it's 1v1, you get them mauled, mate. Like it doesn't matter, you know, even if you get a good shot in. But if you all jump on him, depends what kind of man. Like if you get 100 men who are built like a Bucky's pen, then no chance. But if you're getting ones that are in a decent nick, or if it's the likes of like Hamzat Chimaev or Makhachev, Khabib, like UFC fighters, then you probably only need about 30. But even then, they'd still rip the limbs off the first few. But
yeah,
there's several scenarios you can give for that.
Yeah.
But I would like to say the 100 men.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think it's 100 men. By the way, I'm
Craig
fair.
just put Walker, Wilson, Ashbrand, KDB, McAtee, Edison, Albright allowed to leave. I don't include Walker or Wilson, Ashbrand. Do you know we've got 28 players without Wilson, Ashbrand, Walker? I've not included Calvin Phillips.
This is what I was doing last season on your channel.
We've got 28
now he's doing it on his own.
Players right now.
I haven't missed this.
28 players. Matt Pierce said here, which is a great point. Well, let me find it. Well, where's he put it? So who the hell's coming in then?
No one by the looks.
There's no room at the frigging inn because no one wants to sell anyone anymore.
Me. I'm doing Scott Carson's job.
And the ones who people want to sell are the ones likely to be frigging staying in Gundogan and Bernardo.
Every other day, get 40 grand a week. There's your announcement, people. That's why I've gone away from YouTube. I'm becoming Scott Carson.
Yeah,
what will be, man. Who comes in?
It's fun. This is why I love all of
no matter what's going to happen, right? If we sign Vert, someone's going to moan that we didn't sign Gibbs-White. If we sign Gibbs-White, the world's going to go in a fucking meltdown.
Yeah. Well, get ready for the meltdown because it's happening.
At the end of the day, we've signed players who, throughout our history, who are not the most well-known. Vincent Kompany, Hamburg. Trying to think of other examples. Leroy Sané when he was at Schalke. I know he was sought after as a very, very highly, rated talent. There's been quite a lot. So at the end of the day, just don't dismay what the club will do. I think for me.
No, I believe in the club. Always do. Made mistakes. We'll get it fun. We'll get it sorted in the summer.
What about this guy, Gabriel Sara? Gabriel Sara, whatever. You heard anything on this, Tone?
No,
come on, ITK, Tone.
No, I'm not ITK. No. I've got nothing on that one at all.
Your phone not buzzing? You're not buzzing hot on the press?
He was at a Premier League club prior.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, I can't remember who it was for the life.
Yeah, Norwich City.
Yes.
Oh, bloody hell.
Did he play when they beat us?
Oh, what? We're not to mend.
It was like it was like Liverpool or United or Arsenal, the mighty Norwich.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Martin.
The mighty Norwich, sir.
I'm going to fucking slide tackle you if I see you tonight.
Is the way you said that, though?
I can't wait. I'm going to find out what that number is for fucking reporting abuse, and I'm going to constantly.
Yeah, Andrew says it.
At your seat.
I was talking to someone last night in the space, and he said seems to be a late bloomer. Him, I think he's 25, 26, isn't he?
Oh no! Don't move the goalpost if you're saying that, and then you're saying McAtee's 23 and he's getting on.
I don't think McAtee's good enough, Luke. I openly say, not that I hate him. I don't think he's Manchester City level.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I'd rather buy someone than if you're keeping McAtee and then doing O'Reilly and doing Echeverria, no problem with that. But the trouble is, Luke, if we're not top of the league and we're not in the semi-finals of the Champions League, everyone will come back and say what a shit window we had.
Well, I wanted Europa League anyway, if I'm truthfully honest, because I want to win. I've got the mustache to go to fucking Kazakhstan and do Borat. So
no, but that's my point, Luke. We can't be doing the meltdowns when everyone's going, yeah, give the youth a go. Fine, give the youth a go, but don't melt down then. If it doesn't work.
That's why I'm glad I don't interact anymore, me.
We can't have this.
I've took a step back and just started laughing at it all, me.
Right.
It's like
Gibbs-White 8 Man City level, but maybe not. But the thing is, Real Mario, it's not up to us, mate. I'm afraid. Viana and Pep like him a lot.
Yeah, Vian is the
McAtee's
exciting
not
part.
as high level as someone. I never said he was.
He's not a
I
level,
never
but
said he
someone
was.
else said.
But I've watched every game I've watched McAtee play. He's a
Yeah,
decent player. I don't think he's a City player. That's my opinion.
What we were saying earlier about flip-flopping, McAtee is another one, like KDB, like Luke was saying. McAtee is another one. Oh, he must play. He must play. He plays, he played shy. McAtee's not good enough. Get rid. Now he has 1 or 2 games where he's scored. Oh, get him back in again. Honestly, it's wild, some of the stuff.
People are yo-yoing because it's a stressful season, man. But
yeah, it's
I'll tell you
crazy.
why people are yo-yoing.
Because we've had 4 seasons in a row where we've won 4 Premier Leagues in a row, right? And people have, signings have come in and integrated because we haven't had a bad period. We've had bad spells, but not a bad long period. To win 4 Premier Leagues in a row. And now the players that have done that are starting to, it's life. Everyone's going to have a span of when they can perform at their best. For footballers, it tends to be 6 or 7 years at your prime. And then you kind of start to decline unless you're like Luka Modric, who just stays ever present. And we're experiencing that this season. And now it's on the club to kind of acknowledge that. And they have, in the January transfer window. And then it's going to be the summer one now. That, okay, it wasn't a good season. 16-17 wasn't a good season for Pep, And then look what happened the following season when he got who he wanted.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, fair. Yeah. Viana coming in is the exciting part, Martin. That's the exciting part of this window.
Yep.
Is Viana, it's fresh, new ideas, like Luke said. It's good.
By the way, can I just say, I said
I'm
not saying don't give the youngsters a chance. This is where people are misunderstanding me. I'm fine with giving the youth a chance.
Martin's the opposite when he's out in public.
Do not melt down if we don't win the league, then, Lakshmi. You can't.
Yeah, that's it. People want youth, but the results may take a hit, and people aren't willing to accept
And that's
that.
what I mean.
So,
Are you willing to take the hit on the trophies and the results, Lakshmi, to give the youth a chance?
Yes, exactly.
I've not said don't give youth a chance. My thing on McAtee is I think he would be a brilliant player for an Aston Villa, a Bournemouth.
I don't even think he gets in Villa.
Someone like that. I think McAtee is a quality player. You're asking me, do I think he's Manchester City quality?
Half of these people in the comments would have had a... Remember that game in the FA Cup against Chelsea?
Oh, the 5-1 with 1 up.
The Pellegrini.
Yeah.
Fuck me. Find that lineup right, and half of these would have a meltdown if that came up on the screen.
We went 1 up in that.
Jack, I fully understand that. I do. Tell me when I've said you can't.
Yeah, but you can, but you're not winning a title.
But tell me. All right, Jack.
Sorry.
But tell me a squad that have won it with young players.
United in 99. 96. That was the only time they ever won. Because Chelsea are playing a youth team and they're doing absolute crap.
Yeah, spending $1 billion on that youth team as well.
Dwight York, Andy Cole were quite...
Yeah,
I think that's a myth with the 99 team.
Yeah, there seems to be this fixation with some people that we have to buy 18 to 20-year-olds across the board. Everyone's Brazilian or Argentinian, and everyone's going to come in and fly. They're not.
It's not even that. Like, why should every signing be players of that age when you're expecting them to be good in 10 years' time? Well, not 10 years, but say 5 or 6 years' time. Are you just going to accept average for 5 or 6 years and then have one good season where potentially they'll win the league?
Yeah, but this is the ironic thing, Luke, is then a lot of them same people are turning around after 3 months, going get everybody out, sack them all, and now want another 10 signings. It's just nuts. Yeah. It's nuts.
I don't understand you've got to this.
You've got to have experience in the squad. You've got to have people moan about like Bernardo and all these lot. You should be bloody thankful we ever bought Bernardo. Kovacic and all these lot, be very, very thankful you've seen them in a City shirt. Yeah, it might well be coming towards the end. But these guys are what won us the league.
Fucking hell, there was a period in time when we bought players who were at the twilight of their career. George Weah, Patrick Vieira.
George Weah, yeah.
But right, so Jack West is Barca in United.
Barca?
Barca-ish.
I told you United won. United was 30-odd years ago.
Yeah, but
when Fergie had a chokehold on everything that went on in the Premier League.
Yeah, and could spend 20, 30 million at the time on a player.
There was
no one else could.
There was no PSR.
Barca is an anomaly because you had the greatest player of all time in that team.
Well, they've got it now with Yamal, but everyone now thinks of
But there's still players that he bought within that squad. David Villa, Thierry Henry. You know, Gerard Piqué, I know, was cheap because he was from United.
I've got a question for you two. If we replace KDB, this is just a question, with McAtee, and McAtee becomes, in that position, the primary player in the Premier League for every game, do we have, would we win the Premier League title with that creation, that level?
Well, I think someone's answered you back here. So, and if we play the youth, what will happen is we'll win 1 in 14. Oh, wait, that's already happened when the club played experienced players.
Yeah, but the club also won 4 straight, 6 in 7.
So basically,
SUPERCUP,
what you're
European.
saying there is you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. So we go for a proper youth movement. It's exactly my point with the flip.
You play the youth. You complain that they get bullied by Brentford.
I'm not the only one seeing it, everyone.
Exactly, Luke. But hang on, the experience is what won us. Champions League, European Supercup, World Club Cup, Premier League, Carabao, FA Cup, all that stuff. The experience is much needed. Anyone who thinks we just throw in 10 academy players in the team, we're going to finish in the top 5, we'll be in the bottom 5. It will not happen, and it shouldn't happen. Look
at teams like United and even like Arsenal and that at the minute. They throw youth in and they're losing their big games.
Yeah, that's it.
Arsenal are going out of the Champions League to PSG. PSG is the finest example of a team at the minute. And I said that when I left Paris, because they have bought players of a world-class caliber to build a squad, not just...
We can have both, and that's fine. You can have both. I'm telling you, Jack, what a lot of people are saying is the flip-flopping.
Yeah.
One minute we want... Because the trouble is, Jack, if he plays the youth and we're not top of the league, because this is the bit, you need to listen to, Jack. It's your opinion, that's fine. But if we're not top of the league,
watch it.
Playing the youth, Stum will have a meltdown.
Watch it. We'll have it tonight where all the youth are out. Doku, Savinho,
and we get beat. People will go crazy.
Oh yeah, watch it. That's what happens.
If there is a load of youth on tonight, they'll be like, oh yeah, buzzing. If in the first 5 minutes we're 2-0 down.
Yeah, that is spot on from Man City. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Sorry, Luke. Yeah, that is absolutely correct. People don't, but they're the ones that the mouthiest ones, and going, uncles and all this nonsense and stuff, and calling out the old players.
I'm going to say it now because I don't return often. They're the ones who don't go to fucking games.
Well,
I'm going to fucking say it right here. They watch it from a TV because anyone in that ground would give them the patience and the time, like any amount of time.
Yeah, I see what...
It's the ones who watch behind the screen and look at fucking G&A numbers and fucking, minutes played with fucking ball retention.
I'm gonna. So that's, again, I said 5 minutes ago, it was Yamal, and Jack West has just proved my point. The same young player in Barca is exactly, it's all about Yamal. Everyone's now Yamal. That's
buy Yamal for 400 million, yeah.
That's the problem. Everyone is now Yamal now.
Yeah, Yamal.
And that's fine.
Yeah. Look, nobody's saying we shouldn't be playing O'Reilly in the team.
I don't even think he's the best player in the world at the minute. But
200 million, and we're not buying that because we're trying to lower the wage bill as well.
Yeah. So Yamal's never happening. It's not even worth a conversation. The O'Reilly, I think people misunderstand. Nobody's saying we don't want any youth, but we keep seeing stuff about 8 or 9 in the 11, and it's like it just doesn't. It's not feasible. It's just crazy.
You know what it is? People are trying to use the homegrown for the youth because they don't want Gibbs-White and they don't want any other homegrown. What they're trying to do is use the youth for the homegrown quota. That's what it is, Tone. I'm starting to figure it. They don't have faith in the Morgan Gibbs-White deal because they don't want Morgan Gibbs-White and they don't want Morgan Rogers and they don't want anybody else. So they want the youth to take up that homegrown mantle. The trouble is what they're not realising is if they don't play, they'll be pissed off.
Yeah, but you're always going to get that in a squad, no matter what. You're always going to get 3 or 4 who are going to be pissed off every summer. That's the way that is. That you'll never change.
Okay, Craig, cheers, mate.
But I want them, by Craig. But I want them all to be pissed off. I don't want them sat there going, "Oh, I'm all right. I'm on 200 grand a week, mate." I want them to be pissed off and saying, "I want to play."
Do you know what? Man City 1, 2, 3, 4's on the ball here. Where you play the youth, you get damned to play the experience. You get shit. Well, Pep does. He can't win. The experience is what won as much. Exactly. Spot on, mate.
Yeah. We need to get Man City 1, 2, 3, 4 on here.
Guys.
Anyone ever wants to come on, just email us and we'll get you on. No, I'm at the game side supporting the team, hiding in the concourse for 6 minutes. I'm not hiding on the concourse. So there are only people are doing that. Final thought. I know you've got to jump in a minute. So final thoughts, Tone.
I'm really looking forward to the summer. I think it's going to be really exciting. I think there'll be 6 to 8 out, 5 to 6 in. I would imagine we'll be spending a fair few quid. We'll make a fair few quid. Morgan Gibbs-White will come in, I think.
And everyone will go into fucking meltdown.
Yeah, everyone will go into meltdown. I'll be happy, to be honest. De Bruyne's off to the US, by the way. And we'll just see. You know, I'm really excited about it. I just wish some of the fan base, and they know they are, would just, and most are great, amazing. But I'm just talking about certain people that keep popping up. Just chill out with the flip-flopping stuff. Just chill out, cool down. You support an amazing team, amazing club. We're all enjoying it. Let's win tonight.
We're not signing him out. Actually, we're not signing him out. You need to get over that.
Yeah, dead conversation. Just move on.
He's not even winning the Ballon d'Or this year. I'm going to come out and say, man.
Take that, Wes. I'm not sure opinion makes fine. It's very O'Reilly bumper.
No. I'm calling that. Bring that. I'm getting that back. I mean, it must be a wind-up. You tell me on what evidence you've got that Echeverri or O'Reilly are better than Morgan Gibbs-White.
Because he fucking did a few Cruyff turns in the Argentinian league.
Yeah. He scored a 25-yarder free kick. Yeah. Wow, he's elite.
I mean, Alvarez did all that. He proved it, to be fair. So, you know.
Morgan Gibbs-White is playing for Nottingham Forest, who every single fan in this country had in the bottom half in their Premier League prediction table at the start of the season, who did one, right? He is their best player, and they are in for a shot at Champ League. He must be pretty good. All right? He must be.
Morgan Gibbs-White has absolutely triggered people.
Yeah.
He's brilliant, isn't it? He's crazy.
You know what? Morgan Gibbs-White must be sat there going, what have I done wrong?
Yeah.
Nah, I don't think he's worried about a few comments when he's got a miss.
No, he's not. But I mean, it's like, oh my god.
Yeah, but it's the Wirtz or no one brigade, and then okay, that's fine. So if we don't get Wirtz, we'll sign no one. And
you're not going to get Libermento Blue Moon. There's no way Newcastle are selling us Libermento, mate.
No, Trippier's the one out for them.
Well, you're never getting him. I'd like Libermento, but you're never getting him.
Yeah. Newcastle aren't selling anyone now because they can
it looks like Cambiaso's done.
They're not selling anyone unless they don't need to. Champ League.
Yeah.
Andrew says, where you playing Morgan Gibbs-White? I'm playing him as an 8.
Yeah, not a 10, 8.
Man City wants to make Morgan's like the engine we need, hence why Pep and the board want him. Don't understand the hate for him. And is the protest? Yes, I've just checked. The protest is still happening. 1894, I put a tweet out. It's still happening.
Get your 6 minutes out, people.
TV until the 6th minute if you're not the game. They're doing Cambiaso, so you need to. I know you don't want to do it, but it looks like Cambiaso is going to be the guy. I know this is what I mean. So I know Robinson is good. I would like to bet he would, but
it's a good shout. Yep.
I think that's Liverpool written all over that, but I think Robertson's just extended, hasn't he?
Guy on that one.
Fucking hell, here we go. Don't show any more Gibbs-White comments.
No, there's been nothing on Reinders. That's gone dead as a dodo.
I don't think that was ever really alive. If you look at the sources of that, it's Gazzetta. I mean, my God.
Martin, if Livramento wants to leave, they will have to sell him. Livramento can be also. No, mate, they're not going to sell him.
If he wants to leave, but has there been any sign he wants to leave?
Who is this Blue Moon? Because he's obsessed with
Why are we doing if they
transfers
want
here.
to leave? We don't know.
Livermore won't leave. He's over Trippier
I don't
now.
mean
He's
it's
the starting right
like,
back.
This is what I mean. This is not Champ Manager where we can just guess on signings to suit other signings. City are already between
Career
everyone
mode.
in the chat. City are already down the road with 2 or 3 signings. Down the road, quite a way. They're not going to backtrack because the fan base aren't happy about what could happen the other way. They're not going to go stop the deal.
Imagine if we did that. Imagine if we did that with Erling Haaland. Oh, we don't need a striker because we've won the Premier League twice already with a false 9.
No, listen, Luke, in all fairness, we can give opinions. We can give
but opinions are like arseholes. Everyone has one.
Yeah.
So
Robinson,
fuck your opinions.
I would love, but we're not even in for him. So what's the point in discussing Robinson?
You can tell I don't have my own channel anymore because I don't care.
We're not even in for Robinson. So why waste 30 minutes on a combo about it?
Who's asking for a 30-minute combo? Robinson?
I get people don't want Morgan Gibbs-White. I get it.
I'm going to start banging my head against this fucking desk here in a minute.
Yeah.
And like I said, if Newcastle get Champions League football, they're less likely for their key players to leave.
Are all 3 of us on board with Morgan Gibbs-White signing?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I'll put it this way. I'm going to sound like a club star.
He's on the fence again.
Whoever the club side, I'm behind.
See that fence behind me? That's Martin's on that.
Don't care.
I'm going to climb over that tonight. I'm just going to peek through your window.
People need to see yesterday.
Let a garden know.
That's fine, but your comments actually are not going to stop the deal happening if it happens.
So we're not signing Morgan Gibbs-White because he didn't play well against Brentford.
But Brentford are a fucking dangerous team. Brentford drew against us.
They're tough. I had Brentford to get something out of that game yesterday.
I can tell you now, Blue Moon, City have been interested in Livramento for a while. So why has he not said I want to move?
The only way you get him is if Newcastle are in the Europa. There's a chance of it.
You know the interest in Livermento's been there.
Well, yeah, but it's like Arsenal fans saying, we're signing Isak. Why on God's
sake? But we're sounding like Arsenal. This is what I mean. let's not do Arsenal fans here.
Arsenal apparently have got a fucking 100+ point team next season.
Newcastle won the league before Arsenal. That's certainly why they got
100%.
Yeah, they definitely will. People don't realise that Newcastle, just a few more in there, they're a huge threat at the top. And I mean right at the top.
Ian, I do not.
Do you know what? It's not unbearable.
Yeah, that's
walked away.
The hate is getting out of hand.
Yeah, it's an agenda.
It's getting nasty. We're not that fan base. Can we stop acting like that?
Yeah, but this has happened with Rico Lewis this season. This has happened with fucking several others this season. I don't have my channel anymore because I walked away. I wanted to come off the YouTube scene, and I feel
when have we ever
better
no
for
one's
it.
saying it. See, A to Z again. No one says about
I'm saying it. I'm saying he's better.
We're saying give him a chance.
So we're saying one thing, and he's just going to twist it. So we.
Do you know what makes me laugh? Some people, these are the kind of people, in your opinion, that would have sold Rodri in his first season.
Yep, correct. Yep, I was about to say that. Yep.
You'd have got rid of Rodri in his first season because Rodri was a bag of crap in his first season. He was nicknamed Plodra.
Yeah.
Yeah. God forbid anyone has bloody patience nowadays. It's mad. No patience.
Yeah, people who want Pedri, Jude, and Rice, we got more.
Oh, behave yourself.
How many titles
go back to career mode, you fucking tool.
All right, calm down. They're allowed
No.
They're allowed their opinions.
They're allowed their opinions, but it's fucking stupid.
How many trophies has Declan Rice won?
No, Andrew, you've seen it here. It's got a bit nasty. Come on. It's getting nasty, Andrew. It is. I disagree. I don't normally disagree with you, Andrew, but I do think it is getting
Nah,
nasty.
some people just have this fucking, if it's not the be all and end all name like Jude or.
Anyway, right, let's wrap it up because everyone's getting all emotional. Let's just relax.
I'm going back into
Calm
hiding
down.
for a long time, so
Let's relax, calm down, Luke. Blood pressure.
mine's
Everyone's
fine.
allowed their opinions. They're allowed and entitled to them. We're not going to do that.
Fuck that, man. I'm allowed on the warpath. I don't make
No,
off.
that's fine. Yeah.
Appearances.
There's no problem with that. But people are going, he's shit. He's this, that. That's the last. We don't know.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's people in the chat saying I don't think he's good enough. That's fine. It's the ones
that's fine, AM. It's the other bit where it's getting nasty.
Yeah. And there's a lot of it. There is a lot of it about. I don't know why. It's the Verts or no one brigade. It's just mad.
Well,
anyway,
to tell these days
it's a sunny day. No, shut up, It's a sunny
sun's
day.
out.
Let's relax. Let's go to the game and have a lot of fun.
Come on, City tonight. Massive game tonight, by the way.
Is this how it's going to go? Is this how it's going to go during all this? Anyway, thank you all for joining us.
Huge game tonight. Massive chance to
Pick
get
up
a
the
little
Blues.
gap.
If you're doing the protest, 6 minutes on the concourse. If you are not, fine, ignore it and move on. If you don't want to do it, just ignore it and walk on.
Yeah.
Exactly, Kathy. It's meant to be a waffle show, not World War III. Do you know what?
I've joined. We're
not doing Morgan Gibbs-White is getting banned. We're not doing that chat anymore.
he'll sign in the week and you'll have to mention him.
Take care, all. Have a great evening. If you're at the game tonight and you see us, come say hello. And it'd be lovely to meet you. I'll buy you a drink. It would be lovely to meet people.
Everyone go and find Martin now. He's just said he'll buy you a drink.
Yeah.
Go and find him now. He's in the family stand block.
For a
I don't know. 137, I think it is.
Echeverry Glazing Federation managed by LB. It is LB's fault. It's Echeverry Glazing. It is 100%. It's like the Zubermendi Glazing. And me and John told LB that wasn't happening, and no one.
He's had a full-on fucking 6 months with Echeverry, hasn't he? So.
Luke said they missed you. Just sign Tonali and we'll win the league. I wish it was so much this easier. Anyway, take care, all. We'll see you soon.
Bye, everyone.
We're never going to all agree, but opinions are what it is. Just stay friends. Luke,
be nice.
Calm yourself down, sunshine. Tone,
I'll always calm.
Sunshine.
I'm always
let's
calm.
With friends.
Be nice.
Friends.
Be nice.
Friends.
Take care. And
bye, everyone.
Come on, City. And as always, up the Blues. Come on.